Hi out there. Hey, how you doing? So, before we get started, let me introduce myself. My name is Cherie, and I'm coming to you today to talk about breast cancer and my breast cancer scare. So, before we get started into the video, please like, share, subscribe, and press the bell for any notifications when I drop a video. You'll be the first one to know. So come and join the family. Let's get into it. So how did it all started? It started when I turned 40. Yes. Believe it or not, everything went when I turned 40. Not exact, but it did. So let me backtrack a little bit. When I was 39, I noticed on my left breast that I had some itching, discomfort on the skin area of my breast. And I didn't think too much about it because I suffer from eczema. I cannot use certain soaps, certain lotions. I have to spray perfume on my clothes, etc., etc. You know, the sensitive skin group get what I'm saying at the end of the day. So after that happened or whatever, and I noticed what was going on with my skin, with my breast, like I said, I didn't pay no mind to it. I just basically pretty much put it out my head like it was nothing. Fast forward months later, I noticed bruising on the same breast. It was no longer itching, but there was definitely bruising there. And I said to myself, like, you know, this is getting a little bit out of control, but still nothing very alarming. I was just waiting to see, like, you know, if it would go away. I mean, it was itching once upon a time, and I probably was scratching it, so that probably caused the bruising. Fast forward me turning 40, and in some states, you cannot get a mammogram until you are 40. So I live in New York State, where it's required from my insurance that you have to be 40 years old to get your first mammogram. So I turned 40 and I decided to get my first mammogram, and that's exactly what I did. So I called, I made an appointment. My appointment was actually January 27th, 2023 to be exact. I wasn't nervous at all, really, to be honest with you. I thought of it as, you know, just another appointment. The day came, I went, I had to fill out paperwork, you know, etc., etc. I really wasn't, like I said, too nervous because I only had the textbook information about breast cancer, as so many of us do have, where we touch our breasts in the shower, and if you don't feel any lumps, then you're good, and if you do, you got cancer, right? Wrong at the end of the day. So when I got there and she started proceeding to ask me questions as far as, do I have any discomfort in my breast, is any discharge, any bleeding, etc., etc., all my answers were no. So I knew for sure that I was good, right? So we go to the back, and she tells me, you know, here's the gown, you know, the proper procedures. I had to basically take off the gown. I had to make sure the front was open, and I just put it in there. They take you into a room with a machine, like a sandwich. You plop your boob on top of there. They smash it, click, 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 clicking. They take the other boob and they do the same procedure at it. And then after that procedure is over, they tell you that 7 business days they will inform your doctor, your primary care doctor, on the results. And I also had a portal. I know that I really was not concerned about this because I'm a person that suffers from anxiety, and immediately I would have definitely looked on that portal, and I did not look on that portal. I didn't think anything about it. Fast forward February 11th, which was Valentine's Day weekend, me and my fiance decided to take a little road trip. We love to travel, so that's exactly what we did. And immediately when I pulled up to the hotel, I got a phone call. I missed the phone call because the music was loud. You know, we was bumping that Biggie. Let me stop where we was. We was just like really enjoying ourselves. I was in good spirits, and I guess, you know, I missed the phone call. So I did call the office back, and when I called the office back, she told me that yes, we did call you. Your results came back, and we need to get more imaging. So I thought to myself, like, oh my God, my mind now. the anxiety kicked in, my mind started running, and I'm like, what's going on? So I'm trying to ask her what's going on. She said that she cannot really relay any results over the phone to me, and I understand. I'm in healthcare, I understand HIPAA, but in the same token, I explained to her that I needed to talk to a doctor or a radiologist. She told me that the doctor or the radiologist will not speak to me at the end of the day. But I kept on fighting and advocating for myself that I really needed to speak to somebody, because my mental is not like everyone else's mental. At the end of the day, if you didn't want me to know, you wouldn't have called, and you would have just allowed my doctor to call, where he could explain more of what was going on with me. So it worked, of the advocating for myself at the end of the day, and she finally got a radiologist on the phone. So the radiologist got on the phone with me, and she explained to me that I had dense breast tissue. And I thought to myself, okay, that's fine, because I know that I lost 130 pounds. By the way, if you want to know how I lost 130 pounds, drop a comment below, and I would definitely drop a video on that, letting you know how I lost 130 pounds. Back to the stories, right? So I lost 130 pounds, so I knew that I had no fat tissue inside my breast. I knew that my breast was like, so I really didn't pay any attention to it. And then she said, okay, well, we just need to do more imaging. We need you to go see a doctor and get a referral. Now, when I first made an appointment to get a mammogram, I did not need a referral from my doctor. That's just the insurance that I have. But I guess now my insurance is like, hey, we paid for your mammogram, you need another mammogram and an ultrasound, girl, you're gonna have to bring on that referral. Let's see what's going on here. And that's exactly what I did. She told me that I needed to get a referral, which was fine by me at the end of the day. Side note, I was not informed, so I definitely will inform everyone. So if you get your first mammogram out there, most likely you will be called back. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. Majority of the time you will be called back, because they don't have any other imaging to go by. They can only go by the first imaging, and that's not nothing. So you will be called back so they can compare what is going on with your breast. So she failed to not tell me that, and if she would have told me that, I think it would have put a little bit more ease. I think my brain would have been just, I wouldn't have been so high strung off of it. I just would have constantly just thought to myself, like, one, there's nothing wrong, and two, they just need more imaging at the end of the day. But that was not given to me. So this is the reason why I'm doing this video, to just basically put out there a lot of information that I didn't know and I didn't have, and a lot of things that's not out there. I'm gonna give it to you straight and raw. Back to the story, right? So then after that, we hung up. And I'm a type of person, like I said, I have anxiety. So I was like, okay, Cherie, you definitely going to have to go into your portal and read the report at the end of the day to see exactly what's going on, because I'm a type of person, I have to self-diagnose myself. Google is my best friend, YouTube is my best friend, and I need to see what's going on. Self-diagnosing yourself is never good, because clearly your mind goes even more, but I just needed to get an understanding of exactly what's going on. And I thank God that I did, because when I went in there, it was not only talking about me having dense breast tissue, it was talking about me having calcification. Now, when I read the word calcification, I completely just thought calcium, because calcification. At the end of the day, I didn't have no idea of what that was, so I got to Googling. And when I found out what calcification was, it's pretty black and white. It's almost like saying some people may not have breast cancer if you have calcifications, and you might have breast cancer or early stages of breast cancer, such as DCSI, I think it is, or DISC. So I'll get to that at the end of the day. So it's like basically stage 0 breast cancer, the earlier stages. But I did not know what my mammogram looked like to even self-diagnose myself or give myself any type of information, because with calcification, they can only see it on a mammogram. They cannot see it on an ultrasound. So for her to say that I had it is because I did the mammogram at the end of the day. And the videos that I watched and the information that I got from Google, it depends on the shape of the calcifications, if it's in both breasts and it is in lines. that will determine whether or not if you have breast cancer. I am not a doctor. This is the things that I read, the research that I did at the end of the day. So I'm just going by what I learned about calcification. So I still really didn't freak myself out because I didn't see the pictures and I did not know what I was looking for. So I just said to myself, we just gotta go to the doctor. That's it. So fast forward, we come home. I make an appointment to go to do my second mammogram and my ultrasound. So I get there. I believe that appointment was January. No, I'm sorry. It had to be like February. Don't quote me on the date. It was sometime in February. So I get there. I'm going to say this. I'm not going to put the place name out there, but they were horrid. They were cold. They was inconsiderate. They just did not care at the end of the day. They just did not care about what is going on with women that's coming there for mammograms, ultrasounds, and just being called back in general. They are very straight faced and just very like straight to the point. And it worries me that a lot of women are going there at the end of the day, and I really wish I should put out the name, but I won't. That a lot of women are going there and having no support whatsoever, just really wham bam thank you ma'am type of situation. So I get there and I introduce myself, I fill out the paperwork, back to square, second time around of the taking off, put the gown on, and we come in. Smash my boobs down in the machines, click, 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 come back out, and now I need to go do the ultrasound. So I get there and do the ultrasound. Just basically, if anyone ever had an ultrasound, it's basically the same procedures as any type of ultrasound. They put the gel on your boobs and they just proceed to do this little wand thing to see what's going on. So she goes to the left breast and she's doing and she's clicking and she's doing and she's clicking, and I didn't think anything about it. When she moved to the right breast and she started to do that, she started clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking, and I am basically trying to look at the screen not knowing what I am seeing, but I'm trying to look. I guess the human mind want some type of comfort to know what you're looking at, but she was clicking away. Then she proceeded to tell me that she needed to have someone else come in to look over her work. Now, I have had ultrasounds in the past on other body parts, and I have never had someone come over and do the same procedure and look over someone else's work. So I already knew that something was wrong. Now, drop a comment below if I'm wrong at the end of the day, but for me, I have never had that happen. So when she told me that somebody had to come and check over her work and to do the same procedure with me again for the second time, I knew that I was in trouble. I really, honestly, that's when my anxiety went from 0 to 100 real quick. So when she came in and she went to the left breast and she was clicking away, and then she went to the right and she stayed on the right for a very long time and kept clicking, 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 I was just like, okay, we're in problems. So she told me, get up, get dressed, wipe yourself off, and meet me in the waiting room area. So I get to the waiting room area. There's other women there. I don't know if they're there for their first or their second, but I just know that room felt very cold, not cold in a bad way, almost like very scared, very nervous of their results. And it's very definitely understandable. We're all women, we're all going through this, and it seems like women just go through so much when it comes to health, and it's just no information out there, so we're just sitting there just wondering what's going on. So I want to say when I got back there were like 3 or 4 people there, and a time they left, I was still sitting there. I was sitting there so long that I got up and went and found the radiologist person or the doctor or whoever she was at the end of the day, and I asked her like, hey, I'm still sitting here, what's going on? And she said to me, oh, the doctor's looking over your results, we'll be with you in a little while. And that's when I went back and I was like, you know what, Cherie, yeah, it's a problem. This really it's really a problem. So she came back like 10 minutes later and cold face, like I said, no emotions, handed me the paper, didn't even explain to me what was going on. I looked down at that paper and I immediately saw biopsy right breast, needle biopsy, right breast, one site. And I said, what is going on here at the end of the day? Through my tears, I asked her, is it because of me having calcification? And she said yes. Now, she lied a little bit. It was because of calcification, but also it was because of them finding a small mass with the calcification in it. So I went home, I went on my portal, and that is what I discovered, that I had a mass on 3 o'clock with the calcification inside of it. So they needed to biopsy to see what was going on. And I thought to myself, oh my God, what is going on here at the end of the day? But let me take it back a little bit with the appointment. So I made the appointment for March 23rd. And I thought to myself, that was too far out. But at the moment, I was just like really freaking out. I was really extremely scared. I didn't know what to do. My fiance was in the car, so I couldn't like get to someone just to give me a hug. You get what I'm saying? So when I made the appointment, and I remember getting in the car and I broke down and cried, and I remember calling my aunt because my aunt went through something similar. And side note with this is that I want to really stress and explain to you that when you going through something such as a mammogram or any type of health problems, and it's okay for you to ask people, and they might have something similar to you, but please do not take everybody's word for it to say they had this and they have no issues and they have no problem. That's not what my aunt said. She definitely told me to pray about it and get myself checked out. But a lot of times when you going through something and you come to someone and you say, hey, this is what I'm going through, they might have the same thing as you, and you're thinking you're fine, so you don't go back to the doctor, you don't go do what you have to do. Please, 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 I cannot stress enough, please go to the doctor. Please do what you have to do no matter what. It's better for you to know that it's nothing than to you to not know that it's nothing, right? So moving on from that, so after that had happened, I thought to myself, there's no way that I'm going to be able to stay with 2 weeks. If my appointment was March 11th and then the biopsy appointment was March 23rd, there was no way. So Monday morning came and I decided to call them back and ask them if they had an early appointment. She said the only early appointment they had, which was in Long Island, and the other one, which was in Queens, she said the early appointment they had was in Long Island, and it was a Friday morning, March 17th. And I said, I will take it. I will take it, I will take it, I will take it, because I'd rather get this out of the way than to 2 weeks stressing, Googling, YouTubing, self-diagnosing myself. I just couldn't take it. Personally, me, I could not have taken it. So that is what I did. I moved up my appointment at the end of the day, and I'm so glad that I did. I definitely am going to end this video on that note and give you a part 2 of my biopsy. I'm going to talk about what happened during the biopsy, if it was painful, if it wasn't painful, and this facility, was it anything like the facility that I came from in Queens at the end of the day, and just give you just the whole insight of that situation in part 2 and the diagnosis. And I'm probably gonna have to do a part 3 because it's long and I do not want to make long videos. I want to chop it up. But I thank you and I appreciate you for being there and listening to my story. I really, really pray that I touch many women and help them in this journey that I am going through or went through. And drop a comment, and I am there. I am there to answer any questions that need to be answered. Stay blessed, stay highly favored. Kisses and love to everyone. Goodbye.